All right, welcome to Bullwaves.org. This is Enda here, and it's been a while. Well, what am I going to say? I had the plague and such, and then, war broke out and all that sort of crap. Here I am, back again. Thanks for clicking on the video. Here is the homepage of my amazing website. You can go and check that out at Bullwaves.org if you're interested in nightly Elliott wave updates. Go there, check it out. Okay, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to go to check out the markets themselves. Right. So, where do we stand? Okay, where do I start? This is I'm going to start actually on a big wide angle view tonight. And I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to say much about what the horrific things that are going on planet Earth today. And horrific things are always going on planet Earth. Especially so this week. I just pray for everybody who's involved in all that, and I hope as little as possible damage can be done, most especially to people's lives. Hopefully, please God, we can get out of this pretty quickly. Okay. There's no point in me having a big comment, or what am I going to say about it anyway? I cannot do anything about it. Only pray about it. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to start on euro-dollar, and this is the daily count. And for those of you who've been around here for a while, you know that I've been tracking a long-term triangle, which is basically a noose tightening on the euro-dollar, and it's been going on for a long time. But I had thought that we had reached the bottom of wave D very recently, but obviously this week we've got another spike to the downside and a very slight break of that previous low, which seems to be maybe finally ending this possible D wave, and we can turn up our sights higher into wave E. That's the general kind of outlook right now, but let's get into the shorter-term charts, and I'll show you what I'm thinking right here. Here is the end of wave D, so this would be wave C of D. Wave C should be 5 waves, so we've got this extended third wave, a possible expanded flat correction, wave 4, and then a spike lower again in wave 5. Yet to be decided whether this is valid or not. I mean, this could develop into larger than a 3-wave decline. It could be 5 waves down, and maybe we'll get the end of wave 5 sooner than this count suggests. Okay, let's move on to the hourly count. Here's what I'm working on last night. Well, a variation on a theme maybe. I had shown that as a 535, but it should be a 335. Forgive me. Anyway, wave A up, wave B down to a very slight new low, and wave C should trace out 5 waves up. So far we're holding above that that extreme low at wave B today, but we only have 3 waves up so far. So we need to extend higher next week, create a run above 114, call it a run above 115 in 5 waves to complete wave C of 4, and then I look lower again in wave 5. This just seems to be the way it's heading at the moment. We've been oscillating kind of around that 113.50 area for months now, so no change there, and I think that'll probably continue for the next month or so as we flush out this final move here. Okay, let's move on. This is cable. This is the 4-hour count. 4-hour count in cable here. We're looking for a 5th wave rally within wave 5 of wave B. So we've got wave 1 and 3 waves down in wave 2 in place so far. So we're holding a higher low. This probably should be short-term bullish. If we've got this 3-wave pattern to a higher low, we should end up rallying again in a 3rd wave if the low at 131.60 holds. So on the short term, the hourly chart here, you can see this wave A down, wave B up, and then well, it's hard to parse that out into a 5-wave pattern, but maybe it's just a 3-wave pattern. It could be a complex flat. At this moment, it looks like we've got a 1-2 pattern underway, as long as we hold above the extreme low there at wave C, which comes in at 132.74, 132.74. We've got a 1-2 pattern building, and we should rally again in wave 1 of 3. So next week, again, looking for a rally in wave 1 of 3. Okay, here's dollar yen. This is the come back here. Where are you gone? This is the daily count dollar yen. Looking at this possibility of a 1, 2, a 3, and 4 complete and heading up into wave 5. That's the base case scenario at the moment. The shorter term chart is a little bit messy. I'm going to agree. It's a running flat, possible, very complex running flat wave 2 with an ending diagonal to complete it. And I'll go down to the hourly count to show you that in a minute. The main scenario for wave 4 is still, it's probably a little bit dissatisfactory for me, but as long as it holds, as long as that 113.47 low holds, then we should head higher in wave 5. So here's the hourly count. You can see the wave 4 low there. Wave 1 and A, B, and C. So it's a running flat where wave C completes above wave A. We've got that nice 5-wave pattern down in a narrowing channel. So chances are that we're done with wave C of 2, and we should head higher into wave 3 over the next week or so. So, this can change, but at the moment, this is where we're looking. Okay, so let's get on to the stock market. This is the Dow. We came in pretty much, let's say, we hit a pretty substantial Fibonacci extension high here. At the recent high, the recent all-time high, we hit this extended Fibonacci run up in wave 5. Basically, what it did was it took the decline of 2020 in wave C and just extended off the wave C low, and we hit that, and we basically burst right back down below it again. So the question now is this only a 3-wave decline, or is it finally an impulsive setup to the downside? We will see soon enough, but on the daily count, it definitely looks like something is brewing here that people don't want to see. So question is, where are we going now? Let's get the 4-hour count here. This is let's say, my base case scenario. There's a few ways of viewing the current rally off this week's low, but we could view it like this. It could be a 1-2 and then a 1-2. So a series of 1-2s building to the downsides. This could also be a 3-wave decline. I'm not going to discount that at all whatsoever, because it's there facing us, staring us in the noggin, staring us in the eyes. 3 waves down. It could be a corrective decline. We shall see whether that scenario actually plays out. For the moment, I'm going to stick with the series of 1-2s, and next week looking for an acceleration lower again. Here's the hourly count. This one is, I would say, close to being invalidated now, this current outlook. If we break above, I'm viewing this as a 3-wave rally higher in wave 4 on the hourly count. On the 4-hour count, I'm showing a 1-2 pattern. So it's kind of, betwixt and between at the moment. But if we break that 34 to 90 level, so that's where wave 1 comes in. If we break that today or tonight or early next week, that will trigger that 1-2 scenario. So it'll just be a case of working on a larger impulse, and then we would expect a reversal lower again next week. So the outlook is pretty much, we are correcting higher, either a 4th wave or a 2nd wave, yet to be decided. But we should resolve to the downside again, I think, in a 3rd wave. Now, let's move on. Gold obviously got a big boost this week. If we go to, here's a daily count. Here's actually this is the alternate daily count. So we can count this as a wave 1 up. So we can count wave 4 complete and wave 1 and a wave 1 of 5 or wave 1 of 1 of 5 now in place. The quite rapid acceleration earlier on the week was pretty much dumped yesterday, so I would expect that as a pretty clear signal that we're going to probably turn lower again early next week. I'm not going to discount this alternate count either, so in case anybody was thinking that I would. Excuse me. Remnant of the plague still there. So we've got alternate count or main count suggesting that a fourth wave triangle is done, and we should probably continue higher into a fifth wave over the coming months. As you all know, I'm pretty much a long-term bull on gold anyway, so either way, it kind of suits me, to be honest. So here is the 4-hour count. That's the completion of wave 4. The main thing I don't like about this count is the decline of wave D into wave E. It's very hard to suggest that is in 3 waves, but I'm dealing with what happened off that, and it was a rapid acceleration. So at the moment, I'm tentatively looking at this 1-2 scenario here, with the idea that 3 waves down will probably fall back towards 1830 again. And you can see here on the hourly count, this is the 1-2 scenario that I'm looking at. We have the initial decline off the high actually did come in at about 50% of the wave 1 rally. So you would expect that probably minimum in a second wave. But again, that looks like a 5-wave decline. So I'm expecting probably a zigzag here. So 5 down, 3 up, and then 5 down again to create 3 waves overall. I would suggest looking towards a B and a C wave early next week, coming in somewhere around 1850 again to complete wave C of 2. Okay, I want to go to this is the weekly count in crude oil. I want to kind of just show you where my mind is at here. You can see I'm going way back to the 08 high, and I'm looking at 3 waves down in A into the 2015 lows. We had then off that 2015 low, we're actually still working within the same B wave. So we've got wave A up in 3 waves, wave B down into the 2020 lows in 3 waves, and then a 5-wave rally off that. I think it's a pretty clear 5-wave rally. I think we're way closer to the end of this this rally than we are anywhere near, the beginning of it. I don't know where we'll end up finally. I had been kind of suggesting that we were close to the top because we had broken the previous wave A high, but obviously we've extended this week. I still think it's 5 waves up. I think it's a clear 5-wave rally, and I think it does complete an overall ABC expanded flat wave B. And what should come after a correction higher? We should see an impulse wave lower again, so 5 waves down. So all the way off the 2008 high down towards whenever this will finish, 2023, 2024, who knows? A long pattern, and it does fit with the idea of a deflationary collapse. So please don't rule that out. I would say, just off the top of my head, that one way to combat an oil-rich nation would be to start pumping oil yourself, maybe US. Okay, that's just a hint, maybe. Okay, here I think we will. Well, I'm going to leave the weekly count. There's a daily count. You can see a 5-wave rally up to fill a trend channel. Actually, a pretty bog standard best fit trend channel. We've tagged the top of it now, and we should see a reversal. On the 4-hour count, you can see I've been looking for this wave 5 to come in, but obviously we blasted higher this week. And again, we have retraced everything that that rally gave this week. So we're actually back below where we started. So let's get into the hourly count here. I am wondering this evening if it's a case that wave 5 is in. Is this a 1-2? Maybe a larger 1-2? Maybe we get an expanded flat 1-2? Or is 1-2 already in and we're actually working on a 1-2-1-2 scenario? It's up for grabs at the moment. I think I'm looking at that 87.50 level as a kind of a neckline for this pattern, and if we start breaking down through that again, we might be finally saying goodbye to the top of this B wave in crude oil. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to go to the S&P and silver. Right, here's the S&P. Actually, in this one, my main count is the 1-2-1-2 scenario. We'll go to the 4-hour count firstly. So you can see here 1-2 and a 1-2. Ooh, I should move that. Wave 1 and 2. So far, we have got a clean 3-wave rally. Pretty standard zigzag. We're probably up towards above 50% now. So let's get into the hourly count. So if we're working on a series of 1-2s, then that high at wave 2 green should hold. We should turn lower into a third of a third next week. That is, if this pattern holds. We are right. We've reached up into that a kind of Fibonacci gap there between the 50 and 62% retracement levels. Pretty standard retracement for a second wave now. So let's see early next week if we actually get a reversal and some sort of an acceleration down again. Okay, so here is silver. Let's move on. This is silver. I had been working on a slightly different count for silver that got blown out of the water this week because of the action, that kind of fearful rally that happened earlier on the week. So I'm still contemplating a possible B wave top here with wave C yet to come. I know I've been saying this for a long time, but something happened this week with that massive spike to the upside, but we gave it all back, and that is the interesting part of this. The market gave it all back pretty ridiculously quicker than it even gained it. So the question is here, was this just obviously it's all speculative trading, but was this just an algorithmic speculative trade that people tried to scalp, let's say, on horrendous news coming out of Europe? So I think that's pretty much what happened. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look at Bitcoin, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, here is my current idea for Bitcoin. Again, a 1-2-1-2 scenario off the top, possible 5 waves down, just built off that wave 2 high, and now again a second wave rally. So if we go into the hourly count here, you can see 5 waves down in wave 1. So are we now tracing out a lower high again in wave 2, somewhere into the region of that 42,000 level? Now, when we got the spike lows previously back in January, I was expecting that rally back up to the previous 4th wave, so I was expecting somewhere around 45,000. We topped out 45,000 early February. We fell again in 5 waves. We haven't quite broken it to a new low, but once we do complete wave 2 up, then we should see a third of a third decline if this pattern holds. And I suppose that's always what what you would suggest. Patterns have to hold. And if you do want to see the nightly updates, go to bullwaves.org and check out the membership offers there. Okay, and that kind of completes it for this week. I know it was a quick one. It was basically a welcome back to the world again, Enda. And I just want to leave. I give you usually end like this. I give you the bad news of the markets, and then I give you the good news of salvation. And this is I think even more poignant this week. Everybody's a sinner. It doesn't matter if you're the Russian army or the Ukrainian army, or you're a civilian on any side, or you're a, Joe Schmo walking down the street of London, or, Jill and Bill strolling down the streets of Cincinnati. Everybody needs a savior. And you were given that 2,000 years ago, and all you have to do is place your trust in that, the work that was done. Because you either, when you die, you don't die. Your consciousness is even more acute after you die. And ask anybody who's died and come back. You either face God draped in your own filthy rags of righteousness, or what we call righteousness, our own righteousness, or you accept the sacrifice of the Messiah and you face God dressed in the righteousness of the Messiah. That's it. It is the most important decision anyone can make, and it is not a religious decision. It is you accepting what your Savior did and counting yourself as a child of God after that. So there you go. That's the ABCs of salvation. That is why Jesus came to planet Earth. Not to create a religion, just to give you a way out of damnation. So there you go. Admit, believe, and confess. Until next week, I pray the blessings of Almighty God upon you all. And especially if you're watching from Ukraine, although I don't know why you would. But I do pray the blessings of God upon Ukraine, and even Russia too. That maybe, sense will prevail and peace will reign again. Okay. Onwards and upwards. I'll see you tonight, later on the website. And I'll see you next week in YouTube land. Bye-bye.